CRS, who we are and what our capabilities are. So we are a full turnkey recreation solution provider. And what that basically means is we're not just dealers in splash pads and splash pad equipment, but we're upfront consultants who want to walk you guys through the process, basically all the way through installation, and be somebody that you can help guide you throughout the process, not just the equipment itself. We're very Midwest based, but we do have some satellite offices around the country that are relatively new to us. So we're based out of Verona, Wisconsin. Randy's brother, Ron Romans, is our founder, established in 2000. So going on 25 years strong here. I am the Iowa territory rep. I live in eastern Iowa, but I cover the whole state. You may have heard us talk about Patrick Pierce. He is also helps out in the western side of the state of Iowa, just because I'm based out of the eastern side. So he may be involved throughout the process as well, but that just kind of gives you a little guide map on.
And he's in Omaha, right?
He's in Omaha,
Yeah,
he's just north of Omaha in Fort Calhoun.
Oh.
Yep, and he covers the state of Nebraska. So CRS does have two divisions. I'm on the project side. So basically anything that has construction involved with it, moving dirt, pouring concrete is what we classify as a project. And then we do have a product division, which is inflatables, some of our lakefront things like docks, concessions, etc. This is our project team. We do like to work as a team, so I'm a sales rep for Iowa, so I'll be kind of leading the project, but we do like to utilize resources such as Jeff Cornea has been with CRS for 10 to 12 years, I think, already. And he's very, very knowledgeable in splash pads, so you may hear from him throughout the process. There's Patrick as well. He's our project team manager. So just a little background on our team there. Some of our exclusive vendors that we work with, today we're going to be talking about Vortex, which is our splash pad manufacturer, but those are some other companies that we work with and we're exclusive with in the state of Iowa, as well as most of the Midwest states. So just a little bit about Vortex. They do a little bit more than just splash pad equipment. They are kind of the pioneers in splash pads themselves. The word or the term splash pad is actually trademarked by Vortex. So they've been doing this for a long time. They started right around the same time as CRS did in the late 1990s, early 2000s. And they've really helped kind of move through the process and go through updates as the world continues to change. So we'll dive into them a little bit later. But first, let's just go over what is a splash pad. How does CRS classify it? What does it look like for you guys as a city to better help you understand it as a whole? So a splash pad, we like to classify it as a dynamic zero-depth aquatic attraction. So very similar to a playground, a dry playground, but has that aquatic effect to it. And also Vortex has a bunch of features that are tactile. Kids can play with them, manipulate them, turn them, spin them, so they're not just stationary. So a very interactive play space. One of the keys to that right there is a zero depth. So a little bit different from a pool. You don't have to have lifeguard supervision if you prefer not to, since there's no risk of drowning. So just another benefit of a splash pad. It is an upfront investment to the city. Think of it as something that might be something totally new, a little bit different than a pool or a dry playground. So it just adds that aquatic element to your park and your space. We can go through a little bit more on what those look like depending on your design. So what kind of investment is it? You know, what can you expect for seasonal operation costs, etc. We can help dive into some of those aspects once we get a design figured out and go down the line there. So these are just some benefits that we like to separate into 3 different categories: community, owner, and environmental. Community benefits to start with, enhances the quality of life. So really makes kids get out, families get out, enjoy the outdoor environment, utilize your park space more. Fosters a community pride. Splash pads are still relatively new concepts. Not every city has one, obviously. quite yet, like you would see a dry playground. So people do take pride in having a splash pad in their community, and it's something that they can take pride of and continue to grow and add to their park in the future if they prefer to. Strangers can become friends, so young kids who may not be in school yet, they may not go to the same daycare, kind of a good joint meeting area for them to play, have fun, and learn to interact with other kids if they haven't had much of a exposure to that. Creates a sense of belonging to your community, promotes a healthier lifestyle. Kids are out moving around in the sunshine, away from computer screens and tablets and iPhones, so I think that's important. And then, like I mentioned, Vortex features, kids can play with them. They can learn about different things like buoyancy, water pressure, etc. So learning and development skills go along with that as well. Some owner benefits, we've seen park usage increase drastically once a splash pad is added to a certain park. It can really bring in more foot traffic. So if a park has a traditional dry playground and now you have a nice splash pad next to it, not only will they be utilizing the splash pads, but we've noticed that kids will start utilizing the dry playgrounds more, going back and forth, interacting with both of them. Lower vandalism rates, there's actually studies on this that's pretty interesting that Vortex has completed, but adding a new pad to an area can reduce vandalism rates. They have a study in Cincinnati or something where they actually added a pad to a very high crime rated area, and they added the splash pad in, and they noticed that crime rates were going down just because there's more people, there's more flow, there's more traffic, and there's more eyeballs. So no standing water again, so no lifeguard supervision required there. And then some of the environmental benefits, they're getting more and more important nowadays, trying to reduce carbon footprint, and water conservation strategies obviously is number one. So not just creating a splash pad that dumps gallons and gallons of water, but creating a pad that kids can play with the features. You know, the excitement doesn't come from all these gallons of water, it comes from the features and how they interact with them themselves. Automated and user activated system. So what that means is the splash pad's not gonna run 24/7. You have a controller, set an hour of operations on that controller. In between those hours, a kid can go up and press then the activator button and the pad will operate. So if no kid presses that activator button between the hours of operation, the pad won't just continue to run during those hours. So really helps save water, and the time span in which the pad runs after the activator button is pressed can be changed. So you can kind of customize that to what you'd like it to be. Recyclable materials. So everything that Vortex utilizes to manufacture their features, their manifolds, it's all recyclable. So the meat and potatoes, other features, are the stainless steel with the powder coat finish on them. They use a lot of lead-free brass for some ground sprays, for some spray nozzles and inserts, and then a lot of polymer to kind of give the pad a little bit more shine and some more color too. So just a list of those benefits there. Good so far? Any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Digging into a splash pad design, I think the biggest benefit of a splash pad is no two of them have to be the exact same. They can be very customizable depending on what your features look like, how you pour your concrete, what kind of concrete finish you like, what kind of color, etc. But one thing that we want to keep consistent is what we call the bay concept. And what this does is ensures safety between different age groups of kids. So we have 3 different bays that we classify. One would be the teen bay, or the older kids, the toddler bay, younger kids, and then the family bay. So the teen bay is kind of the area of the pad where there might be some more high intense spraying features. Those cannons might be next to each other, creates a little bit more competitive atmosphere. The toddler bay is a place where the features are a little bit smaller, low to the ground, a little bit low flow, so those younger kids can either just sit next to it, stand next to it, and not be intimidated by the features. And then the family bay is kind of that intermediate area where everybody can come together. It's where we see a lot of our taller features that may not have giant dumping buckets. They're just nice, easy sprays. It kind of completes the pad as a whole. We can do these bay concepts no matter what the splash pad design is. It's just all based on where we place the features within the pad itself. So a couple of things that are unique to Vortex that you might notice if you're on site at a Vortex pad. First thing would be the toe guard. That is the piece that covers the hardware at the base of the feature. So not all splash pad manufacturers have that. It's nice for multiple reasons. Number one, it hides the hardware, so kids aren't risking stubbing their toe if they're coming across too quick. It's UV resistant, soft to the touch, so it's really not abrasive or anything. And then it just hides the hardware, makes it look a little bit cleaner, adds that blue color to it. The safe swap, that is what the features are embedded on, so that's what's actually embedded in the concrete. What's nice about our safe swaps are it allows you to put a new feature there in the future if you'd like to. So that feature that you purchase up front isn't just embedded in the concrete, it's actually hardware bolted down to that embed. So if you ever wanted to update your features in 15, 20 years, all you'd have to do is unbolt that and then put it back onto that anchor. So it makes it super nice. Stainless steel construction. So like I mentioned earlier, all of the material that Vortex utilized for their features is stainless steel or brass, and that includes the spray heads and the nozzles. And then C-Flow is kind of that one component that's the polymer. It is a translucent material with different colors. We have different features that have a bowl effect with the C-Flow where you can actually see the water moving around in it, so it's pretty neat. And then those are just some of the safety standards that Vortex takes into consideration, and they take it into consideration no matter what process, the features in manufacturing, construction, and total upkeep and maintenance for it as well. So these are three big items that we want to focus on when we're meeting with the city and understanding what they're looking for in a splash pad. The number one thing is your goals. So obviously, understanding your goals, what do you want the splash pad to look like? We understand not all cities want a giant pad or a tiny pad. They want something a little bit unique. So that's one thing that we definitely want to figure out right off the bat and then help consult on those goals that you clarify. Number two is the space. So what space do we have available within the city or a park to make sure that this will work? What water line size do we have available? How close is it? Do we have any electricity available? Is the space flat where we can actually put a nice ADA compliant splash pad there? So definitely something we want to consider as well. And usually we'd like to do a site visit sooner than later in the process. And then number three is your budget. Obviously we want to be conscious of that, understand your budget, not throw something at you that's completely over the budget, and just consult with you on what may be possible for a certain budget. Show you some case studies on here's a project that we did in the past 6 months. This was the budget, this was the cost of it. So making sure that you're aware of what you can get for a certain budget, and CRS and Vortex respecting your budget. All right, moving on to something a little bit deeper into the splash pad realm of things is the water management systems. So there are 3 different ones that Vortex will manufacture and utilize, and this is pretty industry-wide standard here. One is a recirculating system. That is where the water is captured in the holding tank. It's ran through a cleaning process through chemicals and UV treatment, and then sent back to the tank, and that water is then recirculated and kept up and cleansed throughout the process of the day. With this, you see a lot of savings on water costs. You don't utilize as much water. It is a larger upfront investment, however, because there's more components to that recirculating system. The next one is the flow-through system. This is probably what 90% of the communities in Iowa do, just because of the upfront cost of the recirculating systems and some of the pool codes that go along with it. But a flow-through system is simply taking potable water, hooking up the water line to your manifold. Once that activator button's pressed, the manifold will send the water out to the features. This water will then run down the drain into sanitary. So it's pretty straightforward. There's not as many components that are needed with it. And it's something that's very popular in Iowa. The last one, and probably the rarest one, is a repurposing system. So very similar to the flow-through system, the only difference is you're capturing that water at the end and you are reutilizing it for something else. So irrigating, using it as a water holding tank if you need it for something else. The only issue we see with this one in Iowa is the Iowa DNR classifies water that makes human contact gray water. And you can't do a lot of things with gray water once it's been in human contact, unfortunately. So we haven't done any of these in Iowa. We've done a couple in different states, but it's not very common in Iowa just because of the DNR classification of gray water. So.
What's the approximate cost difference between, I don't remember what you called the first one, and the flow-through system?
Recirculating.
Yep, so recirculating flow through. The recirculating system, I'll start with the flow through because it's more simple actually. There's a couple different housing options for flow through mechanical systems, and we'll see it here in a couple slides. Those range from anywhere from like $15,000 to $30,000 just for the housing of the manifold and the manifold itself. Now add that, the recirculating system. It has debris trap and rain diverter to make sure that rainwater doesn't get into the clean water tank. It has a water tank. It has the WQMS system, which is water quality management system. So that would include all the pumps, your sand filters, the manifold itself, your controller. So to long and the short, I think the most recent WQMS system we quoted was $178,000 compared to the $15,000 to $30,000 for the flow-through manifold. So it's about another $150,000 capital cost up front. So
And
with that,
savings long-term though.
yes, so that's something we can help you do is once we have a splash pad design, we can actually give you a good estimate on what your payback period on water savings would be and kind of what that timeline would look like, that you would have water savings that now surpass the upfront cost of your recirculating components. So that's something we can definitely do for you once we have designs created.
And pull on existing infrastructure? How does this impact that?
How do you mean existing infrastructure?
So like all the existing water lines and how does that tie in and how does that impact our current systems?
Sure, I think it's very dependent on what's available. So usually cities will have anywhere from a 6-inch line that we pull from, and it really is sustaining. So it's dependent on kind of what your capacity looks like currently. We have run into a couple cities where they're kind of at max capacity with their water tower or whatever they have. So they kind of have to look into alternative options. So it is very variable, but we can help you make some of those estimates based on a splash pad design and kind of understand
Thank
what
you.
it would look like. Yep. Any other questions so far? Those are good.
Concrete, is it some kind of like what was the pickleball court? Is it some kind of specialty
Some
concrete?
type of acrylic. Nope, it's just, the best splash pad surfacing is regular concrete with a medium broom finish.
Okay,
Medium broom is very, very important
yeah,
because
yeah.
not too slick, but not too rough or aggressive.
Yeah.
We do see cities, they want to add a little bit of flair to their splash pad. So they'll put a colored acrylic surfacing or like a poured material on it or a stamped or dyed concrete.
Yeah,
The biggest thing is that surfacing, making sure that it's not too slick
yeah.
or too abrasive. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yep, we recommend just a normal medium broom, finish to the concrete, 6-inch depth concrete. That's pretty much all we need. So. All right, we'll touch on Vortex quick here. So Vortex is the splash pad manufacturer of the equipment, the mechanicals, the drains, basically anything that you'll see on the pad would come from Vortex. This is a little detail of what I was discussing earlier. So this is their safe swap embed, and this is where it all really starts. The embed is within the concrete, and then that feature just simply gets bolted on top of that embed with a gasket under it. So super easy to install. Don't have to pour concrete around the vertical features, which is a little bit nicer for those concrete contractors, because the features will just come in after the fact. So that is what it looks like kind of before and after. These are our ground sprays. So all the ground sprays will be the same diameter of embed. So if you have one that you wanted to change out in the future, that's just the same diameter plug, basically just put a new plug in there. It'll create a new water effect and you're good to go. So very interchangeable ground sprays as well. A little bit about the controller. This is kind of the brain of your splash pad, if you will. So it's very easy to use. It has digital touch, just like a cell phone or a tablet would. Within the controller, you have your set hours of operation. So you can customize what hours of the day you want the pad to be on. It's super easy. You can change it whenever you want to, basically. So outside of the hours of operation, even if a kid goes up at midnight and tries to touch the activator button, it will not turn on the pad. So that's probably the biggest thing there. With that, it does have activators shown on it. You can have multiple activators on the pad if you'd like to. Most cities just go with one or two at the most. But if there's ever an issue with that activator, there'll be a little light on the screen that shines yellow or red. So basically everything on this controller will shine green if everything is functioning the way it's supposed to. As well as the features, that's another item there that if there's a feature that's not functioning correctly, it'll kind of give you a signal there. So the controller does have all the capabilities for the recirculating system components as well. So that would be the rain diverter, bypass valves, etc., whatever you'd have included in that. And then it does set a schedule for you if you'd like to, because in Iowa, it falls under pool code. So you have to have somebody test that water twice a day to make sure it's within the balance that it's supposed to. Again, the controller will throw a signal if it's reading that it's not. So just very, very helpful. You can create custom splash pad sequences with this. So if the sequence you get from Vortex isn't super exciting to you and you want more features to be on at one time, you can customize it in the controller. So very, very helpful, super easy to utilize, and kind of is your key to understanding the pad. And then I just added this one in here. Vortex has a lot of different feature lines. They have probably 10 to 12 different feature lines themselves. Within those feature lines, there's probably anywhere 10 to 20 different splash pad features. So it's a little overwhelming. It's like kind of a big menu shock. So kind of want to understand your goals, like I mentioned earlier, on what you want the pad to look like. But this is just an example of some of the different features that Vortex has. Along with this Explorer line, they have different sea creatures, they have different trees and plants. Now their new release in 2025 is like very geometrical looking features. So a lot of different things that you can theme your pad like to not look like somebody else's down the road. So a couple other things that are unique to splash pads that are newer concepts are the integrated lights to them. So Vortex does have LED lights that are just light canisters that will shine up onto ground sprays, kind of give you that look there that you see on the top left picture. Along with that, they now have a ground spray feature that has integrated lights to the canister itself. So that light and that water will always be running at the same exact time. They are very fast acting hyper valves in those features, so they kind of dance and move around. So we see a lot of cities want to put, anywhere from 5 to 10 of them next to each other. They'll start dancing around and move back and forth, kind of like a little fountain show. So something that's relatively new. Some of the features are at surface level, so they're not even vertical, such as ground sprays or a couple of these, what we call water journeys there. So very good features for toddlers, kind of like a water table you'd see in a science class. And then now Vortex is starting to release different styles of cooling stations. And these are more so items that are just for adults or kids in a heated area to sit down under a shade with integrated water effects to it. So some different things that they're coming out with that are a little bit different than what we've seen in the past. All right, diving into the mechanicals a little bit more. I did not add any recirculating components on this, just for the fact of saving time, but we're gonna dive through the flow through just because it's the most common.
And we only have 3 minutes left, so. sorry.
Okay, all right, I'll hustle then.
That's fine.
So this is the diagram that we saw earlier, kind of shows you the water going to the command center, to the features and down to the drain. These are the different manifolds. So if you have an existing building on where you want the splash pad to go, you can simply put a wall manifold mounted on the inside of that building. Helps save a little bit of cost for housing for sure, so you don't have a cabinet or a vault. Here's the cabinet. This is the most common one that we see. Basically, it's the same thing as the wall manifold, still has your controller in there. It's just housed in a little cabinet that kind of looks like a big electrical box. Definitely the most common one that we utilize in Iowa. There's a subterranean vault, so if you want to keep it kind of out of the way, hide it in the landscape, that's another option. Perfect, and then this is just some of the things that we'll go through with you throughout the whole process. So site assessment, understanding your site, operational cost analysis, so understanding what might be a better system for Glenwood to utilize for circulating, flow through, et cetera, and then what do those costs look like. Giving you updated renderings so you can see what the pad looks like as we go through the design process. Spray zone layouts, so showing you what features are included on your pad, what those features, gallons per minute are, and then what your pad total will run for water consumption. More for the installation portion is piping and electrical schematics, engineered mechanical drawings, so making sure we have everything we need to give to contractors who may want to install the splash pad. Detailed CAD files, so that's more for landscape architects that we work with. Comprehensive CSI specifications, design services up front, and then most importantly is certified installers that are understanding. Even if you want to use local labor, which we do recommend because it helps save you money, we'll have one of our certified installers kind of walking through the process with them to make sure that they have everything they need. And then once it's all said and done, startup and winterization training and services. So once the pad is complete, running the city, whomever's going to be upkeeping it through the startup process for the spring, and then winterization process for the fall once the pad's ready to be shut down. So, and with that, I think that was my last slide.
Hey,
So if
good
you guys have any questions,
One quick one.
got 1 minute.
Yeah, thanks.
You know, at first blush, as somebody who doesn't know, so I'll just say out of ignorance, I'm asking, I look at them and I think, okay, these make perfect sense. They're accessible, right, to all kids.
Yep.
How does that work for accessibility in kids or adults with special needs? What are the things that, I'm assuming spacing and
Yeah.
height and all, I'm assuming that goes into all of the designs.
It does,
correct?
absolutely, and we have a lot of slides that touch on this that I just didn't add in here for the sake of time. But we make sure that concrete needs to be poured at that 1 to 2%. That is the maximum for ADA accessibility. And then, like you said, spacing of the features is very important. So making sure that there's at least 6 foot in between all features. Where's an accessible route to and from the splash pad? So that kind of, it may not seem like a part of our scope as splash pad experts, but it's something that we want to address and make sure that, okay, if there are parking spaces here, we want an accessible route to the pad. So touching on all of that kind of in the design phase up front, making sure that all of that will be fully accessible by sidewalk, and then once they're on the pad with the spacing and the slope of the concrete itself. Yep.
Thank you, Cole.
Yeah,
I mean,
thank you
we'll
guys.
be in touch. for
Yep,
some more
I'll leave a couple
information.
cards here for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email or reach out to me anytime.
Very good.
Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll give that back to you.
All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:01. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And if you haven't signed in yet, there's a sign-in sheet over here and agendas, so please do that. Okay, we'll start with call to order, roll call, please.
Excuse me. Kate,
Here.
Smithers,
Here.
McEwen. Here. And Lyons and Duran.
Yep, Duran are out tonight, so. Okay, the consent agenda, I'm looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda as printed.
So moved. McEwen.
Second,
Smithers.
any discussion? Roll call, please.
McEwen.
Yes.
Smithers.
Yes.
Kate.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, this is the time we allow visitors that are not on the agenda to address council. Comments would be limited to 3 minutes. Someone say something? Okay, as per Iowa open meeting laws, council can only listen during the public comments and cannot take any action on items that are not posted on the agenda. Council may take issues under advisement and if needed, refer them to a department head, mayor's committee, or add them to a future agenda. So please state your name and
Sandy Winton.
thank you.
I'm speaking tonight regarding the current city ordinance regulating scooters, roller skates, and skateboards. While I understand the importance of public safety, the current restrictions are overly restrictive and unintentionally limit access to key parts of our community, especially for children. Last week, I saw a woman pushing her baby in a stroller near the Irwin Jewelry building heading toward the square. Her daughter was following behind on a scooter. It was a sweet everyday moment, but under the current ordinance, it is technically illegal. Let me say it in a different way. It was illegal in the city of Glenwood for that child to be riding her scooter on Sharp Street near the square. We're talking about Glenwood here, just a small rural community, not a rules and regulation driven metropolis city. We live here because we value freedom, family, and the ability for kids to move around the town safely and independently. Right now, kids can't even roll or scoot to the library, the park, or sugar makery, legally that is. These are central family-friendly destinations that should be accessible by non-motorized transportation. Scooters and skateboards aren't just toys, they're a means of independence, exercise, and mobility for our youth. Public parks in particular should be a welcoming space for activity. Currently, scooters, skateboards, or roller skates are not allowed at our lake park. Sharp Street itself is prohibited for people with those modes of transportation. So even if you could use the park, you wouldn't be able to get there unless by car or if you carried those items. Easing restrictions on local streets and the park would allow kids to travel responsibly to places they love without forcing parents to drive them or discouraging movement altogether. The fact that someone could have their skateboard or roller skates impounded or be fined for riding to the park is unbelievable. And it's definitely a head shaker to me. This is no way in criticism of our mayor or city council or our police department. We have the best in all three of those areas. The current ordinance was put into place in 2002 for those items before any of you were serving. I know you're working hard to update this ordinance and I appreciate that effort. But more needs to be done to ensure the rules reflect the values and needs of our small hometown community today. So let's work together to rewrite this ordinance in a way that keeps people safe, but it still allows our kids to be kids. And that's all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sandy.
Appreciate it, Sandy. Anyone else like to address council? Maddie, come on up.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I'm Maddie Seek. I'm going to address the same ordinance, Facebook, on Glenwood Buzz. I'll admit some ignorance. I am a former teacher, so a lot of times when people say, oh, the kids these days are doing this, I have a lot more acceptance and I don't notice some of these things. So one of the things I noticed in a lot of the comments on Facebook was people complaining about kids on scooters, the electric scooters that you're trying to address. So that is something that was new information to me, that would be a cause for a lot of complaints. And I see a lot in the ordinance that I read, ways that we're addressing that. I have a problem when it comes to banning something outright. And I know that based on the Facebook that the city, which, I mean, I just want to take a minute and say how kind of incredible we identified a problem. We're figuring out solutions and we're here tonight and we're going to tackle this, and I just feel so lucky that this is a really clean, easy problem. And everyone, I think, is on board with trying to make sure that we're thinking about the health and safety of people in this community. So really, we're very, very lucky. And this is an easy problem to solve. I did find some information from, I pulled these from Ankeny, Iowa, and Pleasant Hill, their city codes. And so I'm just trying to offer up some ideas for ways to tackle the safety issue without banning the use outright. And I understand that that's not a new part of the proposal, but if we could potentially get rid of the banning of any of those skateboards, e-scooters on roads or in city parks, and instead try to find ways to tackle responsible driving, exact definitions of where they can ride. And I think that these city ordinances that I don't know if it's stealing when it's something like a city ordinance.
Borrow from it.
Just to give you guys a little place to go with that and offer maybe a different solution on that. And it talks about some of the main comments that I read were people having problems with their driving, having kids kind of swerving. This talks about staying in the same direction as oncoming traffic, being a responsible driver, things that if there was a problem, you would be able to point to this and say, this is the code, the city code that you're breaking. So I'm glad to help with any of that. Some other great comments that I saw were people suggesting maybe if you have a frequent, I used to call them frequent flyers in school, frequent offenders, some kind of class or something that they could take. I'll offer, I'll teach it if you guys want me to. Bring them in, sit them down, I'll talk to them. I'm glad to do that. And yeah, I thank you guys for trying to think of things for us. Separately, as we're looking at splash pad stuff, I was on the pool committee originally, and I will just say that we toured a lot of pools and with different features. One of the biggest things that a lot of places told us was, we spent a lot of money on this feature, kids never use it. So I've taken my nieces to plenty of splash pads all over the metro area. If you just put some water coming up out of the ground, one of the big features that they really loved is like a bucket that fills up that drops down every couple of minutes. Just some very simple little features can go a very long way for something like that. It's easy to get caught up and spend a lot of money on something that they'll use for a second when they first get there and then never look at again. But I think that's a really important thing for health of our community is creating some options like that for kids to go and do and have fun. So thank you guys for everything that you do.
Thank you, Maddie.
Thanks,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Anyone else like to address council? Come on up. Oh,
No, you're fine.
please state your name.
Richard Flowers.
Thank you.
I think everybody's pretty much got the scooter thing. I just want to add one thing. I'm pretty sure it's based on the kids that just drive with no care in the world, don't look both ways, and just don't care, right? That's why you're making something. But at the end of the day, it's on the parents to teach their kids. But maybe you could have something where maybe the police department can hold something on a Saturday for scooter safety and try to get all the kids, and maybe the police tell them, and would help to make them think differently and not just zoom all around without looking both ways and so on and so forth. That's all I wanted to add.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Come on up.
Hello guys, my name's Michael Phillips. I'm sure we've all heard the things I've had to say. I think the biggest problem we have is we're attempting to ban things in locations because of the actions of a few. That'd be like banning cars because a few people decide they don't want to be responsible. And I think that's just frankly silly. I think we need to not go after necessarily, but take care of the few that are having the problem, that are causing the problems, over affecting the many for those that don't want to act responsibly. And maybe that needs to be, if we're going to fine people for having scooters in the wrong place, maybe we need to start finding the kids and parents that don't act responsibly, that aren't parenting, and because it seems to be the same people causing problems in various places. Whether it's at Buckstore to the point they had to ban kids on early out days. Or destroyed the bear at Sugar Makery. I'm gonna bet it's probably around the same group of people that are causing the issues that are constantly only getting talked to, and the parents aren't getting involved or refuse to be involved. And two, if we're gonna ban in certain locations, are we gonna put signs up? So that way people know, because if somebody moves to this town, how are they gonna know that at certain locations, you can't ride your bike or you can't ride your scooter? What about the ADA people? How do we know? You can't ask them. That's against the law. So you're gonna stop somebody that may be using a scooter as part of an ADA requirement, and now you've just created a whole nother problem. And please don't take this the wrong way, Chief Johansson, but the wrong cop that doesn't know any better stops the wrong person and tickets him, that opens the city to a lawsuit that I don't think the city can afford to pay for. So like, there's a lot of things that I didn't see in that bill, like even talking about ADA stuff. How about we get our sidewalks better? So it's not an issue. The kids that wanna act a fool and swerve in and out of traffic or buzz down going 60, because I speak to Chris who owns Sugar Makery, or not Sugar Makery, Round Table T-Bar all the time. I'm in there all the time with my kiddo. He literally said someone got hit outside of a shop because a kid was flying down the street, not paying attention. Let's address the actual problem, which is the few, and not punish the many. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate your comments. Okay, at this time, we will go into committee reports, and we just have Park and Recs. I know Mike's not here, so is someone prepared to, is it? Would you like to talk, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
So we had, go back to my notes. We had Cole Moeller here with CRS that gave a presentation on potential ideas and options for splash pads. It was a good presentation, lots of information, things to consider. They work with a company named Vortex. So I don't feel like we got to ask a lot of questions because it was kind of rushed with only having 30 minutes, but I don't know.
Yeah, it was more of an informational
More
meeting,
just
just to get
informational,
started
yeah.
on it, on the process, so just to educate us. Okay, thank you. Number 6, she is, took her name off the, she's not coming, so we'll move on to number 7. And this one is to have the reading of the first reading of ordinance 936 for the golf cart. So we'll do that quickly. I know one of the changes was to allow access on 78.03. The golf carts are prohibited from traveling on the following main streets of city, except to access on the allowed street, Sharp and Locust, because those are the main streets. But you can access them to get to your destination. And then we took off the time. I think that's the only thing, and we changed the permit fee would be set by resolution instead of being in there before. We took that out. And the age was they had to be at least 16 years of age, operate a driver's license. So, if there are no questions, we can,
What about concerns or comments?
yeah, Absolutely.
I've talked to 2 different people just this evening and several people over the last few weeks about underage kids driving the golf carts. The main thing was to the golf course.
Yep.
I have noticed a couple in our neighborhood. We live up on 6th and Glenbrook. So I guess that's just something that,
but the only thing we can do on that is reach out to the officers, call and if they want to call and,
and that's
And
what
they
I've
would
told
have-
people.
yeah, they need to call because it's hard to catch them.
That's
Go
it.
ahead.
Nope, that's
Yeah,
it.
any other concerns?
Nope.
We have it in our neighborhood too. We see, I know Eric stopped a couple of kids and
Could we ask the golf course to let people know about the age? Maybe people don't
Eric, do
know.
you have?
We can.
Do they have to register those? I can't remember.
They're supposed to be
They're supposed to
registered.
There's
register.
something that we can give them in writing, like when they register every year, to remind them of what the rules are with operating those.
And we currently have 11 licensed golf carts.
11?
Mhm. So probably not everybody's registered
I'm
yet.
assuming we still have some that are operating without licenses. I know I've addressed at least 3 people that have subsequently licensed since I've talked to them. Beyond that, like I said, as we see them, we try to address them.
Yeah.
But
I guess Wednesday's golf day, is that the busy day that you see them, probably on Wednesdays?
I don't live out by the golf course.
Oh,
I
yeah,
just
okay.
ran into a couple people in a establishment this afternoon and this evening.
And it is hard, it's underage.
So at one point, we discussed, and I don't remember where we landed, and I was reading my notes from before, and I didn't have anything in there, about 14 years of age, doing just like driving cars. And I didn't see that that was in there. I mean,
They have
I
a
think
permit.
for me, and it goes back to even the next one where we talked about, you have to follow the rules of the road, and if you don't, right, there's a consequence for it. To your point, and I think to everybody's point on all of it is, our law enforcement is tapped out. They can't be everywhere doing the same thing. And Richard, I don't remember if you said it or who said it. And the whole point is, we need parents engaged. We need everybody engaged, because I can't expect Eric and his team to get every 10-year-old that's behind the wheel of a golf cart stopped. And who wants to ticket a 10-year-old? Nobody wants to ticket a 10-year-old. Then you're talking to the parents. So we have to come up with solutions. So for me, that was a long way to say, I don't know where we ended up with the 14 with an adult. I think we need to think about that again, and make it match with what we have for vehicles. I think anybody under the age of 14, if your guys see them, I mean, I don't want to, for lack of a better way to say it, have an officer sitting out there wasting their time trying to get the 12-year-olds. We got bigger problems than that. That's just my 2 cents on that.
Anybody else?
So are you recommending changing it?
Yeah, I was thinking that we had discussed it, and that's
You
why I
remember
went to
Eric on
look,
the
that we
13-year-old?
talked about adding permitted, however
I know
that
we
word
discussed
was.
14-year-olds. I don't,
I thought it was if they had their permit, like their student permit, just like with a car, they could
Operate
drive
with
with an adult,
I
so that we
remember
were
that.
matching it.
I know we discussed that.
I remember
We talked
discussing it,
about
I
it,
don't know
yeah.
where we landed, but I would
Did they have
recommend.
passengers then? What, do you recall a discussion?
I don't
They
think
had
we talked
younger-
about-
Younger passengers?
If it were me, and I am one human up here amongst a very qualified group of individuals, I would have it match. So if it means that 14-year-old in a golf cart can be with an adult and 1 passenger, then I would align it.
so.
We'll go back to look for our
We have
email.
that reworded with the city attorney to recognize, we're gonna have to, it's not gonna be a simple fix, but reword that to where a 14-year-old can drive with a valid driver.
I mean, that's just that's my opinion.
I do
No, we
have,
discussed that a few months back.
it's in an email from in May. Update 14-year-olds with a licensed driver in the golf cart, section 78.02. So I think it was just missed, but I think that
So we would
was.
need to add that for the second reading then.
Sorry.
Well, the other thing I think we missed, and I thought we already had this all squared away. So
We've had some
when I
time
found
lapse.
this one, this was
Yeah.
an email that I had resurfaced, so you're absolutely correct. And I'm not
You're
sure
good.
what
I didn't even
happened
remember that we had
exactly.
talked about it.
Look, I couldn't find in my notes. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just trying to,
Well, but you remembered it.
but I know the hours of operation isn't on this one either. Looking into that, it's not stricken, so I
Right,
therefore
so it's
I'm
not on
sure
Yeah.
on that without consulting Matt Woods.
Mhm.
So can we table this one until
Well,
we can?
we've had the first reading, so we can, I don't know if we approve it with changes and then bring back for another reading, or do we? It's up to you,
Imagine
council.
you can, I just need to make sure I'm getting explicit direction to
But-
change that,
And I don't know, I mean, this is where I get into, I'm not sure the process, because we're actually not approving the first reading. That's what this is for, so we're
Right, so I think. I don't
voting
know
it
if we-
down,
if
and
we
it would
would,
come back again then as a first, we'd make
We
changes.
can, actually, we can table the first reading. Table the motion for the first reading.
And then bring it.
And then
we could do that.
bring a first reading back in 2 weeks with the changes, and then we can move forward to the first reading. So I would ask for a motion to table item 7.
So moved, Smithers?
Is there a second?
McEwen?
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
McEwen,
Yes.
Kate's,
Yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
And Eric will get together and figure out what, if there's anything else, get with Matt, get it updated. Okay, next one. Motion to approve the first, well, have the first reading of ordinance 937. We've had comments, so I'm gonna just open it up to council. What you want to discuss on this first reading? I do want to comment, make sure I understand this right. I think there's some confusion on 7702 where it says skateboards, roller skates, and scooters are prohibited from public parks and from streets and sidewalks within the corporate limits listed as follows. We don't list the parks, so I don't think it was intended to.
It's listed in the text is where the problem is.
I think that was, yeah, so we probably, to make it open, because we aren't banning it in the parks, I don't think that
That's
was
what
the
I
intent. I know, and I think that's the way it got worded. I think that was an
Yeah,
oversight from
inside.
the original one, so we need to probably take that out, you think, Eric?
It's been worded like that since.
From ever ago, and so we didn't catch that,
Thinking about
because it's from the original.
this, and we might want to consult the park board, but we might want to limit it to the sidewalks at the park. And the only reason I say that is because I know we've had issues with damage to the amphitheater from skateboards,
Oh, because they go skateboard at the
Well, they-
amphitheater.
where they grind or whatever they call it on the bleachers and cause damage.
And I thought the only space that we updated to be was GRC for no access for those scooters and skateboards and stuff.
We increased the amount of streets they could ride on.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think we missed the one block of First Street if we were gonna keep the business district on the square, no scooter related.
So we have a little work to do on this first reading as well.
Correct.
Okay, so at this time, I'm gonna ask for a motion to table number 8 on the first reading and go back to the drawing board. So is there a motion?
So moved, McEwen?
Is there a second?
Kate's.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Kate's,
Yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
McEwen,
Yes.
Okay, we'll be back at the next meeting with an updated version. And if you have any further comments, please feel free to send an email to Eric or here at City Hall, and we'll pass it on for
I guess I
consideration.
do want to say something,
Yes,
sorry.
go
First of all, thank you to everybody that came. I mean, we sit up here and it seems like all the time we're like, where is everybody? We want people involved, we want input. I appreciate you guys coming. You know, we have talked about this and I know you guys have heard me say, oh, I went flying down the high school hill, you know, back in 1975 and thank God I didn't get hit. And we have to be careful of what we're putting. And I've even thought today more about the things I think that we need to keep in mind is 1975 or 78 or 84 or 87, whatever the year is, we live in a different world. We have people that are now, their heads are in their phone, right? Yeah, the state's helped us. They put some laws in there that are, you know, supposed to help. But when I was growing up here and I was going down the hill, at 50 miles an hour and I was flying through the stop sign, most parents, most families had somebody at home. Both parents weren't working. You had eyes on kids, whether they were your kids or somebody else's kids. It is different. So as we work together, I think that there are some things that we have to keep in mind as this morphs and changes for the betterment of everybody, with everybody coming from the place, which is, I know I can get wrapped up in the comments on Facebook and my feelings can get hurt and I'm human and all of that. And I can take that and I can let it fester and get angry and whatever. At the end of it, like you, Maddie, I came away with, man, look at all the people that care about our kids. Right? This is still the same community that I grew up in, that everybody looked out for everybody's kids and nobody wanted anybody to get hurt. And so I like that we're coming from that place. I just ask everybody to continue the input, try to think about how the world has changed from the time that this was put on the books to now, and how do we write that and adapt it so that it makes sense for today and going forward. And also keep in mind, I know we've talked about, it's not just kids, guys. We've got adults that are out there on electric scooters weaving in and out of traffic. We've talked about, yeah, the state laws apply on the roads. I'll get off my little soapbox here. I didn't mean to do that.
No, well
but
said. Thank you.
thank you, and we do appreciate everybody coming in and giving us input, so.
Thank you,
I'm
Lori.
done.
Very good. We'll move on to departmental reports. Library's up first. Come on up.
That's a tough act to follow.
Hi. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good.
Great.
Library has a couple of upcoming events. We will have a booth at Scarecrow Days, Squarecrow Days.
Squarecrow Days, yes.
Squarecrow Days. And we will also be open for normal Saturday hours. We will be having our youth services fall party on Monday, the 27th from 3 to 6. And we will also have a vehicle at the Northeast Trunk or Treat from 5 to 7 on the 30th of October. And we will be at Title Night at Northeast on November 7th or 6th, November 6th.
Busy. Lots
Yeah.
going on.
Fall is very busy.
Yeah, excellent.
I love that, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Glad it's going well. Mike hasn't, not here tonight. He didn't have anything. He's working on some stuff that he'll be back to us. Nothing from the park. I don't see Ron. Jamie, you're up.
Jake from Eagle Engineering sent me a bid from Affordable Asphalt for joint sealing the cracks in the Locust Street. Affordable Asphalt was the only one that was interested in doing it. He had reached out to Western Engineering and Omni, and they are trying to get projects finished up for winter. Affordable Asphalt's bid come up to $8,750. I would like to have a motion for Affordable Asphalt to do the joint sealing on Locust Street from Sharp to Hazel,
Sharp to Hazel.
or the new.
And we have it in the budget. You've got it in your budget.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll ask for a motion, please.
So moved, Kate's.
Is there a second?
Smithers?
Any comments, questions? Roll call, please.
McEwen?
Yes.
Kate's?
Yes.
Smithers?
Yes.
Thank you. Anything else, Jamie?
Other than you and I went to RP 18 last Wednesday. I think we're gonna get started doing potholes before winter. Try to get back into trimming trees.
And trimming more trees.
And potholes again after winter.
You order sand yet? You got some left from last
I
year?
haven't yet, but sand, when I order it, I can have it the next day.
Good.
So,
Okay, thank you.
plenty of salt left over from last year, so.
Oh, the salt's the leftover. Okay. Good enough. Eric, you're next.
Homecoming went well. Say it was a record turnout. both for the parade and the game. There's only one arrest that weekend by the police department. I can't speak for the sheriff's office or state patrol. Since the last meeting, we've had 8 arrests and 397 calls for service.
How many?
397.
Wow.
State band is this Saturday at Blooming Host, so the athletic complex will be extremely busy for the majority of the day Saturday with bands coming and going.
Mhm.
They typically don't stay. Once they perform, they load up and leave, so
It's an all-day event then.
it's pretty much all day.
Okay.
And then today, Renata Freeze, the police department secretary, has submitted her letter of retirement to be effective December 17th. She wanted to get that to us so we could look at posting a job description and officially replacing her. So, and I wasn't on the agenda for that, so I'll have something prepared for next meeting.
Well, you can ask for permission to at least post. I don't think you have to have that on the,
Yeah, I want to have it prepared,
okay.
just for you guys to be able to look at what we're gonna present.
Oh, what you're presenting, yeah, just to work on it though. Okay. Very good. Anything else?
Nothing further than that.
Okay, thank you. Chief Gray,
The first thing I have on the docket here is conditional offer of employment for one of our interviewees for our full-time position. So I would like the council to give me their permission to make a conditional offer to that person.
okay, is there a motion?
So moved. Smithers?
Second?
McEwen?
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
McEwen?
Yes.
Kate's?
Yes.
Smithers?
Yes.
Okay, next.
Okay, the next thing I have on here is review the bids for raising and removing house at 405 North Grove Street. I have 2 proposals that came in. A third, Elite Excavating reached out and said that they could not do it. They were too busy.
Okay, refuse,
They
okay.
called in and
You wanna read
this
on?
would be for removing the structure up there. And then we'll have to figure out what we're gonna do with the automobiles that are sitting out there, because those will have to be removed.
There's 2, aren't there? 2 automobiles?
Car and
Okay.
truck, yep. So this would just be to tear down the house and bring in dirt and build it back up.
So you're
Who
worried
are the
about-
bids from and how much?
One of them is from Converse Construction for $5,600.
And even 5,600?
And
Thank
the
you.
other one is Claire Construction in Southwest Iowa Homes, and it is for $7,500.
And what's the company called? Claire?
Claire, CLAAR.
Okay, so we have 2 bids, 5,600 and 7,500. So. we'll
I'll
ask-
make a motion to approve the bid from Converse in the amount of $5,600.
Second,
McEwen?
any further discussion? Roll call, please.
McEwen?
Yes.
Kate's?
Yes.
Smithers?
Yes.
Thank you. Did they say whoever, did they put on there how soon they could start?
It'd be as soon as the abatement is up, which I believe is the 20th.
20th and they could, okay, good, so it's getting closer.
And Matt, I know the answer, but I'll ask it anyway. We'll notify the neighbors.
Yes.
You've
just,
been keeping them kind of apprised.
yeah, I just know there'll be a lot of motion stuff to make sure that they know it's one way or another. Thank you.
And the
And thank
next
you for
one,
working on that.
I have a bid from Sharp Blades, to clean up 2 nuisance properties in town. One of them has been cited and they've continued his citation twice now. It's up till January 22, 2026. So they've continued it again. So that one may be put on hold, but the other one is 101 Louise. We had, it is a fire, so they did not have insurance. And it's eventually one, I think the city's probably gonna have to take the property. But it does need mowed and trimmed, and that needs to be completely cleaned up around the house. And, the bids, I believe, do you guys have copies of the bids?
Yeah.
It should be on there. So I'd like to get these 2 properties cleaned up. I know Public Works is busy, they don't have time to do it, so I would like to get this moved forward so we can get this cleaned up on these 2 properties.
And it's just the Sharp Blades bid, right?
Yeah, it's just sharply. Yeah.
Total of $1,070? But that was both of them, Matt?
That's
Am I
for
understanding
both
that right?
properties.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we don't have the other
one on Louise now, because like I said, he's the one offer of 1003. They've continued his case. Can we go in and still mow it at that point?
I'd have to revisit the code, but I'm pretty sure we can.
Okay, so then both properties, if we can get them cleaned up.
Okay. Okay, then we'll ask for a motion. Is
So moved, McEwen?
there a second?
Kate's,
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
McEwen,
Yes.
Kate's,
yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
Thank you. Next.
The next thing I have on the list here is I'd like a motion to, basically, I brought it up here a couple of times on iWork soft systems, which is for code enforcement building permits. The 1-year contract basically would be for $8,300. The renewal would be for around, I believe it's $5,200, I believe, around there. Every year you renew it. It's the same building and code enforcement software that the county uses. They do a lot more with theirs than what we would do with ours. But we put all of our permits, everything online. And it's the same one that all the contractors in the area are familiar with from working for the county. All of our building codes and everything would be implemented. Our planning and zoning stuff would be in there. I talked to the planning and zoning board, and they were all for this. It'll take a lot of man hours, I think, out of what we do inside of City Hall, because right now, when they take a permit in, they're scanning it into the system, they're putting it on a Google Drive. And then this way, when we have to access it, you have to go back and jump through those hoops. The other thing is with the code enforcement, it would, in that title, mean Eric to basically go through and take the code enforcement complaints, log in from our laptops, our phones, or whatever, and take care of the complaints and see what's out there. Any permits that we have would also be online. So when we're reviewing any type of building permits or anything like that, everything's already online. They would build the system up to where it would be, train everybody. It would have a link onto our website where they'd be able to go in and fill out the building permits. It's just one less thing, I think, administrative wise in the office that they would have to do. As well as it makes it a little more easier for us, and we were talking about being able to pull out code. Basically, planning and zoning reports and stuff yearly, we'd be able to do all of that. So anything that we do offer for permits for, whether it's food trucks, animals, everything would be able to be implemented into the system. So you actually go in and log in. Jamie can go in and do the sidewalk permits right online instead of having to come up here. Everything would be online, and it's a cloud-based system. The county has been using it, I believe, they told me about 4 or 5 years. And then that way, if there were any issues, if somebody needed a quick question, they'd be able to work it out. The county would say, hey, we're having issues with this, but the customer service aspect of it, they said was pretty good. I went and spent about 45 minutes to an hour with county planning and zoning one day, and they talked me through some of the stuff that they use it for. And I just think it's time to quit living in the dark ages with the computers and or the paperwork and have everything where we can easily access it.
Do you have it in your budget? Yeah,
In the planning and zoning, Mitch said.
you've got it in there.
Yep.
It'll come out of planning and zoning.
I don't know anything about IT, so forgive me. Is there any way to do if the county already has it, can you buy a license with a different lot that saves or spreads the cost? So that
They are
both
paying-
entities can use it
They're
with,
paying more than what we're paying because they use it for different stuff. And I don't
So you
know.
can't tag on to theirs.
that's what I'm wondering, is, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Can you
Because
tag
maybe
on?
their cost would
As a
come
user.
down if we say now we're gonna add.
Some of their stuff that they're putting in zoning is different with ours. You get what I'm saying? They're gonna build it around our planning and zoning ordinances.
Yeah, and I guess what, and I'm not gonna speak to it right, because I am not an IT guru, but to do like another license off of that where it's separate login, it's
check
a
and
separate, I'm just wondering if there's cost savings, maybe hopefully for the county and for us, if there's, I mean, if we can find those areas to share
I
some,
can check with them and see.
I mean, the county may say, no, we don't want you.
Can you tell me the one-time setup cost and what the annual cost?
The one-time setup cost.
It may not be possible even, I'm just thinking a lot of those things you can, the setup cost was 3,300 for year one.
Yeah. And that's only a one-time charge.
Mhm.
Is that part of the 8,300 then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the 5,000 subscription fee for,
Yep.
and then the 3,300. So total is 83,000, or 83,000, 8,300.
What?
I'm just asking.
Do you want to ask them, Matt?
I can check with them and
Okay.
see if they can do that. I can give my works a call tomorrow and see what they can work, if there's something that is, if it is possible.
Well, we probably make sure the county wouldn't
Well, you have to go.
throw a red flag and say, we don't want you tagging on to, but if we could share a cost with them.
And then Matt, there's 5 hours of integration and data conversion that's built into that. So are they helping you get all of your existing into it? Like into the new system?
They'll do, I think, back so far. Because everything here is not, everything's basically on pen and paper.
Okay, so they'll help you get it loaded into, okay. I just didn't know what kind of, ask that was of you and your crew to get all that done. That's a lot.
No response from
I mean,
Matt.
that's like,
I can bring this back next council meeting and I can ask those questions to the county and from, Iowa.
I mean, can we approve it pending?
Well, you can do it pending the county's response,
Yeah.
because if they say no, then.
At least that
are
lets you
okay
continue
with that,
moving
council.
forward if
Totally
they,
up to you.
if there's no way to do a separate license or.
Right.
Yeah, just word the motion a little, whoever wants to do that.
Yeah, you word that, Madeline. You wordsmith it.
Let me just wordsmith that. So we're gonna, pending the outcome, I would like to make a motion to approve the iWorks service agreement pending the outcome of the conversation with the county and looking into the potential for the license with the county, sharing the cost, right?
There you go. Sounds good.
For the total of $8,300.
Is there a second?
Smithers, I think I would word, just say, so we're not exceeding, not to
Or not to
exceed,
exceed,
because that way,
There you go. You'd have to come back if you were gonna.
Teresa, you're the best, thank you. She knew exactly what we
She
were
knew.
saying.
She got it. Any further discussion or comment? Roll call, please.
Smithers,
yes.
McEwen,
Yes.
Kate.
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead, Matt.
And the last thing I got on here is a motion to approve the DNR grant that we apply for every year. It's a matching grant, not to exceed $3,600 matching. I always put that into my budget every year.
So moved, Smithers.
Second,
Kate's,
any further discussion? How much is it for? 3,600, so, or what is it for? I'm sorry.
36. It's gonna be for, it has to be for wildland.
Oh, okay.
It'll be, basically it's gonna be for a new pump and
New pump.
gloves and
Got
stuff. Protection equipment.
Great. Okay,
And then.
roll call, please.
Kate,
yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
McEwen.
Yes.
Thank you.
I attended IMWCA's, on October 8th, I attended the work comp course that they did up in Oakland. They had brought it over to updated information and stuff, which I'll be going over with department heads when we have our safety meeting. And also, since last council meeting, the fire department's answered 101 calls for service, and we're up to 1,192 calls for the year.
Wow.
And that's all I have.
Is that it?
Okay,
That's it.
Thank you.
great events at homecoming again, Matt.
We tried.
Yeah.
It was a busy night.
There was a long wait for pancakes.
The night one was just bad.
Just as good.
Yeah.
Okay, Mitch, you're up.
Okay, I can skip my first one because I was looking at the wrong one.
Okay.
We already moved it.
We
to,
did last-
November 18th, so
Yeah.
we just got one in the middle of the month. I think that'll
Yeah.
work fine. I would like a motion to approve hiring a deputy city clerk at $20 an hour.
Is there a motion?
Nancy is moving to Oklahoma, and we interviewed applicants last week, and we found one that we would like to start next week at this rate.
So asking for a motion, please.
So moved, Kate's.
Is there a second?
McEwen?
Okay, any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Smithers,
Yes.
Kate's,
Yes.
McEwen.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, next.
I'd like a motion to approve a wage resolution 3731. If there's any questions, can I answer them?
Motion, please.
So moved, Smithers?
Is there a second?
Kate's.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Kate's,
Yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
McEwen.
Yes.
I
Thank
almost
you.
said what?
I'm getting tired.
I've prepared the September financial report and included it in your packets. As usual, if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions you have on it. And then besides that, Teresa and I are attending the IMFOA conference in Des Moines tomorrow through Friday to learn how to be all the Iowa rules for city clerks and Iowa budgeting and finance rules. And then we'll have next week, the auditor will be coming, and also the new deputy clerk starting. And then we have some required financial reports that are going to be due here December 1st, and also some TIF resolutions and submittals to the county also due around December 1st. So I've got a lot of deadlines coming up, so you're
It'll be
hearing
busy.
a lot from me in the next few weeks. So
And I'll come in and kind of help Nancy the rest of the week between when I can, between meetings.
There, I have one question on the budget. So we have a line on the budget for the ambulance for 300,000.
yes,
So with the purchase, we already have the ambulance, right?
yes,
So is that just money that we set aside for the purchase?
yes.
And it's unexpended right now, so
We
is it?
bought it for 200 and I don't know the exact amount off the top of my head. It was in the budget. It's, I don't have it in front of me, sorry.
You're good. I was just curious, since we already had the ambulance and it said it was unexpended. I just didn't know if we were waiting on an invoice or.
So I didn't know what fiscal year it was going to come in. It came in at the end of last fiscal year. So we prepared the budget for this fiscal year before that.
Okay,
So I included it in this fiscal year's budget, but we've spent it. So when we do the budget amendment in a couple months, that'll go down because we've spent that amount. So
okay.
we did like 4 budget amendments, when I first got
Like
here.
one after another,
It's
yeah.
too much
Yeah, it was-
work, so I've got a running list of things to include in our next budget amendment, and that'll be one of them. But yeah, so it's just a timing issue of when we're preparing the budget, and Matt was working with the company to figure out when it could get delivered, so it ended up getting delivered before this fiscal year, so.
Anything else?
Had to think back on that.
I know, yeah, think on. Are you done?
Yep.
Okay, moving on to item 10, Mills County Urban Renewal Joint Agreement 2025 Whitetail Run Urban Renewal Area. So there's a motion to approve the agreement and authorize the mayor to sign. You want to speak of that?
Yeah, so this one I met with Amber over at the county, and they are creating a TIF district in the county for this housing development that's north of the city, close to like Gaston and 230th. And it's not in city limits, but it's within the 2 mile planning area. So they just need the city to also sign off on it.
Can approve the 2 mile
It will
agreement.
have no immediate financial impact on the city, so. Yep.
Did Matt review that? Did we have to Matt review it, or did the county have Matt review that?
The county had Dorsey
did
and Whitney.
Dorsey-
draw
oh,
up.
they
There's also
drew it up,
a
okay.
bond attorney. And I believe they're the ones who told them they need to have the city also sign off.
Okay, and that's who we use, so.
They hook up to city water, or are they all gonna be on wells and
All on septic
all septic?
Awesome.
and well.
Well, it's septic, yeah.
Okay, so is there a motion for me to sign this approved agreement?
So moved. Kate's.
Is there a second?
Smithers?
Any other questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Smithers,
Yes.
Kate's,
Yes.
McEwen.
Yes.
I'll sign that. YMCA. Diana had to go to a meeting, so she's out of town. But she presented a couple of items for our review to see if council's ready to make a motion tonight. If not, she'll come back she'll come back at the next meeting. The gym floor is due for full sanding, resealed, and refinishing. And there's quotes from FLR Sanders for $25,175 and Egan Supply for $22,079.45. And it's something that's part of our contract that we are responsible for that particular fix at the Y. And so she's asking us to use lost funds to go with the lowest bid.
Has she used them before?
Has she used Egan before?
Do we know any?
I don't think they do this that often.
But it's not, it's like
Is this what
every
they did?
10, 20, I don't know how often they do it.
I think it's
a
been 20 years.
Is it a 20-year thing? So it's just up for that? I can't remember now. Let me see if I can find my email.
I don't think it's something that they do often.
No, they don't, which is good because we wouldn't have to pay that often. But let me try to find my,
That's okay.
okay.
I just was,
I read it somewhere a little bit ago. It was 20 years.
I thought it was 20.
Yeah.
Don't have it in front of me either, so.
and I only question it because you said lowest bid, and I was like, just because they're lowest bid. are
Right.
they- Like, have we
But
used
that's why
them?
she
Do we
sent the
know?
two in so we could choose.
She had 2 of them.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just looking here, the Egan Supply one does not include any, it says it doesn't include any graphics or logos or designs, whereas the one that's 25,000 does include the custom logo, Mills County YMCA in the center circle.
But did she give her recommendation? Because I thought when I talked to her,
I don't forget. How's that?
I need to find it then.
That's what I was like, does it have that now? I haven't been in that gym for a while. I go into the workout room, but I haven't been in the gym.
Say for $3,000, I could go without a logo.
Yeah.
Unless it's already there. I don't know if it's there,
I don't think.
but you don't want it to look cruddy.
I don't think so. I don't think they have a logo.
They're changing
I'm trying to find my email from her.
I spoke to her on the phone and she just recommended the lowest one.
Yeah,
She just got 2 so that to confirm the price. from
Right.
Egan.
mhm.
So she just wanted us to go with the lowest one.
And so I think she was just identifying that it did building. 'cause
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, but we don't know anything about the operation of the YMCA. She operates it and she recommended the Egan one.
All right then. I don't think there's a logo.
I don't think
Now
there's
that
a logo.
think
I mean,
about
I'm
it.
like, it's been a long time since I've been in the gym part, but I don't remember there being a logo.
So I'm gonna ask for a motion to go with Egan for $22,079.45 to be paid out of lost funds.
So moved, Smithers?
Is there a second?
McEwen?
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
McEwen?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Smithers?
Yes.
Okay, and the second thing is a water shut-off repair quote for Hauser. The amount's $52.76 and asking for a motion to repair that.
So moved, McEwen?
Is there a second?
They only get one quote. And I know Hauser does all that work, but
He knows the equipment. I know that's.
this is a water, from what I read, this is a water shut off outside of the building.
Anybody could do it.
I would,
That's
I
what wanna
understand
ask her.
inside the building that he works on all that stuff, so I understand that part of it.
Okay,
But from,
So I can explain why she only had one quote because, she was out and, but it was an emergency, so he came in and gave her that number and she wasn't able to be here, so she wanted to put it on just in case, but she could try to get more quotes, but they just don't have the water shut off fixed until our next council meeting and we approve it. So,
I would prefer a second quote.
okay. We'll tell her to get a second
I mean,
bid.
that's just me, but
So do you want to put a motion to table?
I'll make a motion to table that.
Okay,
Smithers will second. Sorry, I didn't mean to
What?
cut you off. I said Smithers will second.
I'm used to it.
is there any further discussion? We will require a second bid and do a roll call, please.
Kate?
Yes.
McEwen?
Yep. Yes.
Smithers?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to the Community Development Block Grant Downtown Revitalization Projects. I'll turn this over to Mitch.
Sure, so item 12, there's this first item, we wanted to add on a motion to allow the mayor to sign change orders for all properties related to this project that have no impact on the overall, project budget. Just so, we've had a few instances where we've had to call like special meetings and, or wait till city council meetings, and this would just make sure that the city isn't ever the one holding up the project if it's just a simple, something we can sign off and already in the budget. If it was asking to increase funds or something, then the mayor wouldn't sign it, we'd put it on a city council meeting. So that's this motion, just so we can be more efficient and not have to call meetings and hold things up.
I think it's a great idea.
And we ran it by SWPCO and they said they're fine with it.
So moved, Smithers.
Second,
Kate's,
any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Smithers?
Yes.
Kate?
yes.
McEwen?
Yes.
Thank you.
The next one is a motion for just a regular payout for Cornerstone Commercial Contractors in the amount of $85,083.83. What my quote was, 83,000.
Yeah, well, I don't know how cool it'd be, but even cheaper.
See if we can get that.
So the check will look cool.
Yeah.
I'll ask for a motion, please. For pay application number 5.
So moved, Smithers.
Second,
Kate's,
any further discussion? Roll call?
Kate?
yes.
McEwen?
Yes.
Smithers?
Yes.
And so these last two are just change orders that are regular routine things for 4 and 6 North Walnut, but we hadn't approved this, the mayor item yet, so I'll just ask you to approve these change orders 7R and 23.
So moved, McEwen?
It's just one motion for both, or do you want two motions, Mitch?
I'm fine with one motion for both.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Smithers?
Yes.
McEwen?
Yes.
Kate's?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, now number 13, the downtown revite 16 North Walnut.
Yep, so this is the, not in the project, but related to the project. This is just we already paid the invoice for the structural engineer. This is the invoice for the work for the shoring on 16 North Walnut. The total cost comes out to a little over 20,000, so we'll be, after we pay this one, be sending an invoice for the balance to the property owner.
So we're looking for a motion to approve Cornerstone with a shoring of 16 North Walnut, $16,375. If you recall, we, during that special meeting, it was not to exceed 20,000.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm just making some notes
Yep,
there.
thank you.
So moved, Kate's.
Is there a second?
McEwen?
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Kate's?
Yes.
McEwen?
Yes.
Smithers?
No.
And at this time, 8:03, I'm asking for a motion to go into closed session according to Iowa Code 21.51C to discuss strategy with counsel in matters that are presently in litigation or where litigation is imminent, where its disclosure would be likely to prejudice or disadvantage the position of the governmental body in that litigation. Is there a motion?
So moved. Smithers, sorry.
Second?
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Smithers?
Yes.
Kate's?
Yes.
McEwen?
Yes.
Thank you. 8:04, I guess.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.